What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we'll be taking a look over here at the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market. We had a pretty chaotic or pretty volatile day over here in the crypto market and over there in the stock market yesterday. I made a video yesterday talking about what I was looking for in the Dow Jones, and that's kind of like where all of my attention was, because we've been studying this ABC correction that's been coming out of the Dow for quite some time, seeing that the B leg hit the 702 right on the button before going on and having a C leg. We've studied corrections like this before, where they pull back to. We've spoken about it in many videos throughout the last several weeks, expecting a pullback here in the Dow, and this is where we were looking for it to happen. At one point, the Dow was down 484 points, teetering way down here, and then boom, by the time the day closed out, it fired all the way back up. So that's what we talked about in yesterday's video. We ended up getting it. If you don't know why I look at the stock market, it's because I've analyzed this market enough to know that the stock market and Bitcoin and crypto, when they're having big bull runs, they're tied together. I had posted this back on December 1st of last year. The U.S. stock market indexes, including the Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500, and NASDAQ, are all nearing their 4.236 Fibonacci extensions. Here's a friendly reminder to show Bitcoin's performance with the Dow Jones. Bitcoin has never experienced a real stock crash, only flourishing in a bull market, in which I showed that every time the Dow Jones is breaking out into a new level, this is also when Bitcoin is having a bull run, and that whenever we go into consolidation periods, we go into a bear market, break out into a new level, have a bull run, consolidate for the Dow Jones, go into a bear market, break out to new levels, 2017 bull market, go into consolidation, 2018 through 2020 bear market, and then break out to new levels in 2021 bull market. So this is from back in December. And ever since then, since December, you can see we have not broken out into a new level here with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And so due to this correlation of seeing that these things matter, I pay attention to the Dow Jones. So trying to find some structures to say that the Dow Jones can break out into a new level. So we've been looking at that pullback because that structure is common. So that pullback is something we've been paying attention to. We've been talking about it for about a month, that a pullback like that would end up occurring in this type of structure. And sure enough, we got it and we did hold it. So I would expect us to probably hover around here for several days, if not several weeks. We'll see. Hard to know. But what was interesting about it, and I kind of laughed to myself if you didn't know that Elon Musk got approved to buy Twitter yesterday, right? So they all came to an agreement. He's buying Twitter. I'm sure you've heard of that news by now. But what was so funny, like for Bitcoin during this time, and this is funny because we've been comparing these two charts together to show this type of structure, Elon Musk was making the news in here, and then Elon Musk was this breakout candle that happened in here that sent us off to the next level. And I thought it was kind of funny to see that, look who's showing up again, just at the right time. Mr. Elon himself again. But while the stock market did turn green, so did crypto, and Bitcoin even popped itself up to over $40,500, $40,800 yesterday when the stock market turned up as well and then paused out once the markets closed. Crypto, most things had turned green at that point as well. And now we're just kind of, pausing out at this point. And, people get real excited on that type of stuff, right? I think with Bitcoin still just kind of a grind out in here. These are the things I was pointing to yesterday over there on Ethereum. And, it's funny how sentiment can work, because I can get DMs in the morning of people saying, can you tell me if we're going to crash significantly lower? Like they're ready to just capitulate and sell their bags to buy significantly lower. And then, after all that news happens, getting DMs and tags and messages of saying like, hey, do you still think it's going to happen with Ethereum? Do you think everything is now suddenly changed with Ethereum and it's going to skyrocket and go to the moon? And then it just takes a couple hours later, and then that sentiment can kind of change, right? But, still thoughts are along the lines of that with Ethereum, just your typical ABC correction happening in here. And I think we're just going to have kind of a waddling time period here, at least for Ethereum. And so, when looking at Ethereum, it looks like a waddling time period. Looking at Bitcoin, I'm not seeing anything over here screaming it's ready to just reverse and start skyrocketing to the upside or anything like that. So you can kind of take it as two different things, right? Either one, that's going to translate into the rest of crypto and everything's going to go boring, or the fact that these two that have already gone on to hit their 4.236 extensions are going to become boring now and not interesting. Will that translate over into other cryptos, and people are going to say, I'm tired of this, I'm bored of these two assets. Let's chase the stuff that starts trending, right? So hopefully some trends can start to emerge in the other altcoins, and people find that they're super bored over here in this one. There's nothing really exciting showing about Bitcoin or about Ethereum, and we start seeing that move over. But really still, it's at that point right now of waiting to see, can we see multiple altcoins start to take off? Because we have seen occasional ones here and there, but to start getting the real excitement going, it's going to be wanting to see multiples of them doing it. And we're still just in that waiting game. And I would hope it wouldn't have to be, I don't know why I have these trend lines on here. I don't care about these things. This one maybe a little bit more, but I would hope that we don't have to wait for Ethereum to finish this before the altcoin market can start really ramping itself up. But I think of it as a real reality. So just kind of waiting on it. But also to show, the impact of Elon on markets in general, who was the biggest performer of the day yesterday when all this news broke and all this excitement in markets happened. It was Dogecoin, of course, up 37% at one point yesterday. And it just reminds me of crypto. I mean, that's what it's like, right? You can go for weeks on end of just getting teetered out a couple of percentage points every day. And then finally, whoop, it'll take it all back in just a matter of hours. So I learned that a long time ago that, the boring parts and the painful parts can last a long time. And then the excitement times can be incredibly quick. And then they're over before you know it. And I would not be surprised if a ton of people were buying Dogecoin up in here after not touching it for several weeks. But once the excitement hit, went ahead and bought it up here. Not to say it's wrong. I don't know. But, buying it after it's up 30% in a day is typical behavior when people won't touch it during these time periods. And the reason I know that, and I know that people were probably feeling that way, is because even me, I was sitting over here thinking to myself, man, should I be buying this thing? It goes against everything I believe in to buy something after it's already risen 24%. Like I was looking at it down in here, right? It happened fast. I started noticing it when it was right around here. I'm like, man, is this the start of something, right? Elon's got Twitter. He's talked about integrating Doge into Twitter. Is this a buy? And so I know that I was sitting there contemplating that, and I have a lot of discipline to hold back, and I did not end up buying it yesterday. But I know a lot of people probably jumped to that same conclusion and were like, YOLO, buy it. But, the main thing for me yesterday was seeing that the Dow could hold this, because I do carry this fundamental view of the markets, or this macro view of the markets, that, in order for crypto to go off and break out, historically it is shown, we need to see the Dow moving up at the same time. So that was a big day yesterday. We'll see how long this thing takes to work itself out in here. It could take a little while to work itself out in here. Nothing indicates that it's got to just turn around on itself and go in a straight moonshot. These things can grind out of there. That's what the structure shows us that we've seen previously, is they have to slowly grind their way out of there. And with what we're seeing over here on Ethereum, it shows that it probably could take a minute for it to grind its way out. But I was definitely on the edge of my seat yesterday as we were watching this thing. And I told you guys I'd be sitting over here watching it all day long, and it was my main focus. And then, being down 496 points at one day, and then eventually getting back to plus 84, and then closing the day out plus 240. They did modify that to 238, but very positive to see that happening in there. And we talked all about it in yesterday's video. So success occurred in here. Now it's just about kind of just like finding support and calming down for a minute. And I really wanted to talk to you guys about my trip that I went on last week, but I know things were very, a wild start to the week. So I didn't get an opportunity to talk about what I was doing last week, where I went to. You guys know I went to Dallas. I was there with Link 2, and the experience was very humbling. So I'll talk about what that was first. It was an investor conference for anybody who's investing in pre-IPO companies with Link 2. They were hosting an event for them, for all the investors to come together and chat and have dinner. And it was very nice. It was very elegant. But it was so interesting for me personally, because it's one of the really first times that I've gotten out in public personally and gone and mingled with people. And it was amazing to see, how many people watch my YouTube channel, and to see all the different walks of life. And it's so weird. And I kept making this comment that, when I'm here, when I'm talking into this microphone, when I'm sitting behind this computer screen, there's everybody that watches this channel, right? You've got anywhere from somebody living in their mom's basement, or a single mom who's just struggling day to day to, make ends meet to, pay for their kids new pair of shoes and make sure their kids have food on their table, to the guy who lives in the backwoods of Alabama, to the accountant in North Dakota, or to a millionaire who runs his own company. It ranges in every direction, and it's so amazing to see this in real life. It's very interesting to see it in real life and have people talk to me and tell me, hey, watch your channel, listen to it every day. It's so impactful to me. And it's easy for me on my end, sitting behind this computer screen, to disconnect from that and just feel like I'm talking into a microphone, and to remember that, it's like we have a relationship. It's like we have a connection with each other. I fill you guys in on a lot of the things that go in on my life, which I haven't talked a whole lot more about. I talk about my kids. A lot of you guys were there when we went through, the BC Barker stuff back in 2020. Hard to believe it's 2022. That was an emotional ride that I went through, and you guys went on that ride with me and were very supportive during that time. And it was incredible to get to put some faces behind it and hear the same story out of everybody, the exact same story that, I listen to your channel. It helps me get through things. And it was deeply humbling to hear that in real life. I see that in the comments and stuff, but to see that in real life and to see the exact same words that get written on Twitter, the exact same words that get written on comments of my videos, to have them said in person. And I thought that was very different. It was very different. But this was an amazing event that I went to, and I got to meet a lot of incredible people, and to kind of get into the mindset of people who are very patient. And that was one of the most remarkable things I noticed about incredibly successful people, is how patient they are. So this was an amazing thing to go meet all these people, all of these investors over there at Link2, or all of these people who are customers of Link2 and use their platform to invest in private equity before these companies go public. And I finally got to meet Ray over there from Link2. And then many of you guys know James Rule XRP, and then Mr. B XRP. Many of you on Twitter know Mr. B. He also does have a YouTube channel as well. Had dinner with those guys too. And as I showed you guys last week too, I took Ray on one of my workouts and we had a pretty good time. And well, we even have our Backstreet Boys shot that happened in here with Ray, me, James Rule XRP, Mr. B XRP, and Will. So definitely a humbling experience and amazing to meet all of these people. So I can't wait to do that again. It was great. As you guys know, I'm a partner with Link2, so it was great to meet a lot of these people in face rather than just doing it through Zoom calls. You guys will probably be hearing a lot about Link2 today because John Deaton, attorney John Deaton, went over there and was speaking with the CEO of Link2, Joe, where they were talking about Ripple, they were talking about the lawsuit and all that stuff, and that's floating around there on Twitter. So I'm sure you guys will see a lot of this today with Link2 and John Deaton. And today they are running another one of their promos as well. So you get $1,000 back in XRP if you invest in Ripple today only over there on Link2. And I am an investor over here on Link2. I do use this platform. I have used the wire transfer method where I funded my account with a wire transfer, but you can also fund your account using Uphold and using crypto. But you can come over here to Link2 to where you can see if you can get yourself accredited to invest in pre-IPO companies. So today, only $1,000 back in XRP if you invest in Ripple. And if you want to hear Joe and John Deaton and the team with Mr. B or Nick and Ray talk about why they're bullish on Ripple, the company, in here, you can check out this video over here on Link2. Otherwise, descriptions in the video to Link2 in here. You can head over here. You can check and see what they have available to invest in over here on Link2, which Ripple's right there at the top. But they also have BitPay, Dapper Labs, Uphold, BlockFi, Link2, and plenty more in here where you can invest in these companies before they go public. Otherwise, I'm happy to be a partner with Link2, and I'm excited to finally share what I was doing last week because I didn't tell you guys last week where I was going, kind of kept it hush-hush until the event actually occurred. And you're probably like, where is this guy? But it was a great opportunity to meet a bunch of really smart people and investors. So that was a lot of fun for me to go do that. But it definitely feels good to be home. I miss my family when I'm gone like that because I don't do that type of stuff very often. But definitely fun. Otherwise, throughout the rest of today, I'm going to be focusing over here on just making sure that the stock market is cooled off and chilled out here for a minute. I think a lot of bubbles have popped in the stock market, like big tech, talking like Netflix and maybe even Google. I bet a lot of these big tech stocks have completely popped. We know ARK has popped. I'm focused more on the Dow Jones, but there's definitely trouble out there in the stock market for some of those overblown bubbles that have happened out there. But my main focus in regards to the stock market is going to be the Dow over here and making sure this thing can kind of settle itself out. So hopefully it's just kind of a calm day out there after a pretty climatic day yesterday. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Again, today only over there on Link2, $1,000 back in XRP for an investment made in Ripple, the company, today only. There's a link down there in the description of this video to link to. They are sponsors of the Blockchain Backer YouTube channel. I'm proud to have them on board. So check them out today. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this thing up, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.